Joe on the line here. Good morning, Joe. You reminded me of something that I should have been talking about here, and I haven't.
Yeah, the debate tonight on YNN, 7 o'clock. Claudia, George Phillips, and Steve Wells.
What do you think of this? You saw the polling came out this week showing, or Friday it came out, and showing that it's really a dead heat between Tenney and Wells. What do you think of this race?
And I think they owe that to you, because I think she showed her true colors on your debate.
Okay.
And she kept repeating the same thing, same accusations. She's the first one to sling the mud. I got a good nickname for her, too, if you want to hear it.
Yeah, I love nicknames.
The Chameleon.
When
things are going her own way, she's as sweet as pie. And when you ask her a hard question you don't want to answer, she turns into Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde.
Yeah, the Mrs. in there. Now, Joe, who do you think right now, if you were to vote today, who would you be voting for, you think?
Oh, Steve Wells.
You
definitely.
like him? Okay.
Definitely Steve Wells.
All right. This has been a very interesting race, and the fact that it's really tight is kind of exciting. 1 week from today is the vote.
Right.
All right. The final shot is tonight. I believe this is the last debate, right, Joe?
I believe so. Last televised one. I know they're featuring the three candidates on WKTV this week.
Okay.
I think Steve Wells already had his shot, and the other two are going to be coming on, I think, Wednesday and Thursday.
And they do them separately. They each come on individually.
Separately, right. And I believe this is the last televised debate.
All right. Okay.
And I might have missed something. WCNY did something, too. That
Insight,
might have been...
yes. Last night they had
was last
Insight.
night.
They had Steve Wells featured on Insight.
Okay, so they must do each of them. And Andrew, I want to have each of the candidates on one more time this week. You know, Joe, I go on vacation next week. I can't believe I'm not going to be here on Tuesday for the vote and on Wednesday for the aftermath. It's gonna. I don't know. I might have to make my way in. My wife is gonna kill me. All right, Joe. Okay, thanks for the call,
Bye.
Joe. All right. It just dawned on me, and then Christine's gonna be gone.
Mm-hmm. I know, that's what we said yesterday. What bad timing, because the primary debate, or the primary is the 28th. So
this is one of three primaries we have to deal with. We had the first one, which was what was the first one? Presidential, then the congressional, and then we'll have the statewide.
That presidential.
The statewide primary coming up.
I hate to say it, there's never really a good time, especially when we're talking about elections. It's always. I was just talking to someone the other day, and they're like, "Oh, I can't wait till this is over." And I'm like, "The next one just starts 2 weeks later."
Yeah. We're already getting. You have Daley coming on with it, and Carpenter will be on tomorrow. The DA in Herkimer County. That primary is coming up on September 13th, and they're already out and slinging it back and forth here. And then you have the assembly races coming up. So there's a couple of key state Senate races, and it'll all kick right back in. And summertime is tough because people are traveling. They wanted to move the primaries earlier. By law, apparently, we have to give those in the military more opportunities. So they want to move them into August. But that is a terrible time for a primary, because people travel in the month of August.
But isn't one day more paletable than a whole bunch of days?
If we did them all on the same and less expensive, because it costs each boards of election, each of them, it costs them quite a lot of money to run these primaries. And here we are just running multiple primaries. It's crazy. Interesting story about a mountain biker. And this was in California. This could happen here. He's apparently riding the bike with a hat on, and he's wearing his bike helmet is what it is, but he's got the GoPro camera on top. And how many times have you had something happen to you and you're saying to yourself, wow, wouldn't it have been great if I had a GoPro, if I had my camera rolling? Well, this guy did. And listen to what happened. See if you can tell me what the description of what happened here.
That was a bear.
The guy ran into a bear on his bike.
He's lucky he didn't get eaten.
He's lucky. The bear apparently was startled and took off.
Well, there was another story yesterday of a woman who had gotten smacked by a bear. They had her on the...
I saw that too.
Yeah,
a lot of bear stories out there. All right, I'll take a couple calls. We'll give you a chance at a free money question coming up. Worth $350 in cash. And again, I really believe I have a question that somebody could pull off. If nothing more, this is a really unique question. I really love this question. Coming up in a second before 9 o'clock. And Frank is on the line. Good morning, Frank. You're on the radio.
Yes, I just saw this on the news last night about this hospital debacle.
Yeah.
It seems like I don't know all the details. Maybe nobody does. Some pediatricians bailed out the Mohawk Valley Health System for emergency care visits. I don't know the ramifications of this, but here's my opinion, which is only my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, and they said that patients were complaining about being treated rudely by personnel, the emergency room. But you know what? I think that this is a society thing. Everybody treats everybody rudely anymore, no matter where you go. If you find somebody that's helpful and courteous and nice, that's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
That spills over into every profession, even the medical profession. It's hard to find good help these days. You ask any employer out there, what's your number one problem outside of taxes? Is finding employees that show up and don't steal from you. And I think that this is it's just a thing of society, and it's not, you know, and it's probably with every hospital. This came out at this time. But you know what? I think that if they build this hospital, we need a new hospital. These hospitals are outdated. These hospitals, you go to Boston, you go to these cities, these are state-of-the-art. We have a big area here. We're trying to build this area, and you can't attract good doctors unless you have an excellent state-of-the-art facility. That's the only way.
Well, you do wonder. I mean, would a new facility, you would think that it probably would, a new facility that's, as Frank says, state-of-the-art, probably would we do a better job of attracting people. And I don't want to say we're not attracting good people, that our doctors aren't good, because that's not the case. But at the end of the day, and to your point, Frank, on rudeness, I don't know what the hell is going on in the world. You can check out of a grocery store and never have to talk to the person. Never say two words. They won't say anything to you. Last thing you say is thank you, and you don't even get anything after the thank you. It is
You're
crazy.
Right. And that's just the fabric of society. Everywhere you go, it's the same thing. And you get a waiter or waitress that is courteous and nice and does their job and doesn't steal your credit card. That's an exception.
You're excited.
It's to the point where, if they're not texting it to you, you're not getting it. So the verbal thank you probably ain't coming. I don't know. It's really a shame. All right, Frank, I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right.
And I don't know. I don't think, in fairness, the hospital thing is about rudeness necessarily. Based
agree.
on the woman that called in and the stories that we read about in the newspaper, I don't think it's about being impolite. It's probably more than that, but it is it does seem that, and it's not just kids. When we say, it's easy to say if you're 50 years old, well, kids today, they just don't. It's not just kids.
No, it's all of us.
Because the kids who are rude to you have parents who are probably just as capable of being rude to you. The kids are in most cases, the way their parents brought them up. Right?
They're mimicking.
It's not like they've just gotten this on their own. Somewhere along the line, they were either taught or not taught. And I don't know. You teach your kids. Your daughter's extremely polite, right?
Thank you.
Did that just happen on a whim, or did you play a little role in that?
She sees me and says, "I'm going to do totally the opposite."
But it's not just teaching them to say thank you. It is what they see and how you react to things.
That's a big part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give you one quick story about what Frank is talking about. So I'm driving down the road, and I'm in the left lane, and I'm on 5S, and there's a merge coming. So that means there's a car coming in, and we're going to merge, and I'm going to be slightly behind the car as it merges. But I'm in the left lane. I have the right of way. The person begins to move over into my lane, ultimately move over into me. It would be an automobile accident. So I'm so intent on not being a rude SOB that instead of honking on the horn, I mean, it's close. She's coming at me. Instead of laying on the horn, I did a deet deet. There's a big difference between deet deet and dat, right?
Yeah.
Dat is a swear word. Deet deet is, hey, I'm here, don't hit me, right? So, and she sees me, and we go forward, and she pulls back over, and she's all startled. So I'm like, okay, I did a good thing. I didn't flip her off. I didn't do any of that stuff. Why are you so stupid? I see that all the time. Why? The person made a mistake. So as we continue on forward, stinking woman flipped me off. Now, I was in the right. I didn't flip her off, and she flipped me off after the deet deet. I don't get it. I was complete. So I rammed her right off the road. I just turned right and slammed her right into the ditch. Well, that's what I wanted to do. Isn't that crazy, though?
What is wrong with people?
You try to be polite when somebody else is stupid, and they still come after you.
But maybe she didn't see you. Maybe she thought that.
She didn't see me.
No, but I'm saying maybe.
I was in her blind spot.
Right. Maybe she thought you edged in. I'm not excusing her behavior at all.
Well, then she's an idiot. Well, clearly she is.
And not a polite one.
And not a very polite one. Okay. Quite aggressive, as a matter of fact, I think. Hate to be her husband. Got a break. We'll come right back and give you a chance at $350. Andrew, caller 5 right now at 736-0186. It's the Home Michael Law Firm free money question of the day. We're $350. Let's give this money away next on WIBX.